Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dungeons and Dingnuts, the channel where Gavin has a new beer stein.
I do. It's from Evermore.
It's very nice.
The Oktoberfest.
No, actually it's a channel where we have high levels of entertainment, low levels of intelligence.
You cheated. I saw you look at the script.
What are you talking about? It's playing my music right now, which is from Critical Role that we used while we were playing here. So if you want the music while sessions, you can use Critical Role and other sites that I might link in the description below if you check that out. But we are back with another episode of Aventara. Funny enough, it's actually another season because last time was the end of season 1.
And I'm like the fool that I am, forgot to say that.
Actually,
Now
you
I'm
did
really
say it.
lonely
You did
over
say
here
it,
on the
David.
side of the table.
Oh, I did?
Too.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
You didn't watch a lot of stuff happen.
A lot happened last time.
Hearts were broken, bodies were shredded, and something else happened. Either way, it was fantastic.
Bodies were shredded? I thought they just ceased to exist.
No,
his was
Q-Skibby.
Q-Skibby was shredded.
You know, yeah, that's true. That didn't happen.
Spoilers, guys. What if
True,
you haven't
spoilers.
watched it yet?
If they haven't watched it, go back and watch it.
I was very purposely
Avoiding.
mysterious.
And then this one had to go and do his thing.
He has
Low levels of
problem.
intelligence, y'all.
Yeah.
He had problems.
So, spoiler warning, I guess. We need to put those in our videos beforehand.
Ooh.
Maybe? I don't know. But before we get into today's episode,
How can there be spoiler warnings on the new episode?
right?
For the last
For the last episode.
Of course, I feel like that should be a given.
There's going to be spoilers. If you're just joining this episode, you're going to be spoiled and very confused.
It's not like
gonna
we
be
don't give a
spoiled.
recap of what we did last anyways.
No.
Gosh. But before we get into today's episode, if you want to see what's going on, you can check us out on YouTube where we post all of the videos of Dungeons and Dingnuts, all of our one-shots, all of the main campaign, all of the things there. You can find the videos of our content there. They're pretty entertaining. You can see Gavin's beer stein. You can see Wesley.
Make me. You'll see a lot of things if you watch it coming from me.
Yeah.
Last time you could see Gavin like on the verge of tears. It was so sad.
Over soup.
I was on the verge of tears as well.
Gosh.
Freaking soup.
Now that everybody's hungry.
Everyone here in this party
Now
is
that
going to be
everyone's
forever
dead.
traumatized by soup. Soup will forever be a trauma moment for this party.
It all started with Wesley.
It all started with a bowl of soup.
Wesley simply existed.
That's exactly
In the
what happened,
beginning.
sadly enough.
In the beginning,
There
the
was
gods created Wesley. That has generally been, and that made a lot of people very angry, and has been generally considered to be a bad call.
Bad call by the gods.
As you can tell, we love our Wesley dearly. But if you want more content and such, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X. I think that's all the socials that we have.
X, baby.
I think so.
Maybe
was not where we
Tumblr,
had on the
maybe
X.
Reddit. I don't know any other social medias.
Threads.
Threads. No. But that is all of the announcements and housekeeping that we have for today. So we will get into today's episode of Aventara.
Yeah, baby.
Alrighty, so we start off our new season with the sun rising over the horizon over the beautiful city of Saito. A week has passed since the events of last time, and the sun rises over the docks of the large city, the metropolis, and merchants are loading up their vessels, and disembarking off of one of the vessels is a face we have not seen before. Wesley, would you like to introduce this new character of yours?
Let's see. As you see this man step off this boat, he seems a little lost and is always looking around trying to see where he's going next. But you can see him in this old beat up kind of sailor's coat and some worn out boots. He's kind of a little bit, he's not old actually, he's middle. He's a middle-aged man, and
Not really.
he's on the look for something, and he just darts right into town.
All right. What's your name?
I am Coryllis.
Coryllis. I'm going to write this down because I will forget this.
Don't worry, I will too.
Eli, I've told him like 15, 20 times already, and he's like, who's that guy? So don't worry.
How do I spell that name?
As it sounds, Korlis. No.
It's not as it sounds.
I'm really tired right now.
All right. Well, I'll write it down how it sounds for now.
Sure.
All right. So, Coryllis starts walking into town. Walks past a group of guards, and as you're walking, you notice an exceptionally large ship that has pulled in. Like, it's not very common that you see a ship that large and decked out. Like, it's got, honestly, something, like, you never would have expected to see something like this. It's covered, like, it's almost completely made out of mithril and adamantine with very bright metal on it. It also appears to be decked out with devices the like you've very rarely seen before. Like, it looks like this thing could fly for significantly longer than most ships can and propel itself through the air without needing winds at all. Like, it has enormous propellers strapped onto it, and a bunch of interesting pieces of artifice.
Oh.
As you just pause to admire this work of artifice, just a random other middle-aged man just like steps up nearby and is like, "Beautiful, ain't she?"
I would say so, yes.
Been working on this one for past several decades of my life. Pride and joy.
Oh, so this is your vessel?
You look over, and Coryllis doesn't recognize him as such, but this is Mr. B that you're talking to right now. Like salt and pepper hair, wearing his metallic vest underneath nice clothing, and just like standing there with his dragon head cane, just like looks over, like built every piece of it myself. Of course, I didn't cut the wood or mine the metal. That would be excessive. But every part that I could reasonably do myself, I've been trying to do so. It's taken the better part of 4 decades to get the work on her.
4 decades.
Yeah, her first voyage is going to be in a couple of weeks.
Ooh.
Hoping to go out and possibly visit, even to sail down to Oceania. Maybe I'll even make it down to Austral someday.
Really? Now that you're saying that, I've actually been trying to find a boat to ride. I was wondering if I could perhaps go on yours in a week.
Well, it would be a wonderful opportunity. I appreciate the offer, but I've actually got my crew already.
Oh.
And also, as you might be able to tell, he gestures over towards like a massive propeller thing. It takes a little bit of extra training to be able to fly on one of these ones.
Well, I'm not a novice, you see. I actually know how to sail quite well. And I also am a fast learner. And so I believe I wouldn't be too much of a burden.
He puts his hand on your shoulders, going to say, "I'm afraid I still don't have a place on my crew. However, I can point you to a place you could go." And like he just like points over towards the street. It's just like, if you walk up this street, there's a small tavern a couple blocks up. Take a right, keep going. He gives you a couple of directions. The tavern is a common place for sailors to go who are looking for work. There's always captains looking to hire there. It's run by an old friend of mine. His daughter, her name is Eliza. She is always happy to help people find a new crew.
Okay. What was your name, good sir?
My name is Mr. B. He holds out his hand for you to shake. And just
kind of very elegantly just kind of shake his hand.
Mm-hmm. He as you shake his hand, just like for a moment, like his grip just seems to like he looks at you and just like, "Have I ever met you before?"
No, but my friends say I do have a very familiar face often.
I could have sworn I've met someone. Couldn't be. It makes no sense. But
See him kind of like adjusting his coat. He's like,
well, if you head on up there, tell Eliza that I sent you. She'll make sure that you can find a crew just fine. You'll be back out on the seas in a week.
"Thank you. Travel safe. I'll see you out there."
You as well. And now I need to go and find some old friends of mine. And he's gonna just like go sauntering out into the
He
city.
does.
All right, and now we're going to switch over to the perspective of Flynn. Flynn, where are you, and what have you been doing for the past week?
I would say, is it like midday, or what time of day is it right now?
It's like still relatively early in the day. Like, it's we'll just say around 10 o'clock.
I'd say he's at the library, kind of starting, or like finishing, I guess, a shift there. And is going around finding, okay, I need...
Finishing a shift there, explain to the people that are not me, including Gavin, what you're doing.
He's going, grabbing a few books, and it's like, okay, so I need this one, I need... what was on my list? And pulls out like a little scroll of stuff. All right, sendings, some transmutation spells, and some evocation. I think I can leave Willis to do the necromancy spells. I don't like those ones. And just pulls out like a huge stack of books, takes it over to like a desk with a bunch of scroll paper, and he's just scribing down a bunch of spells into spell scrolls, practicing the incantations, and just like, all right, sending. Wake up. And just like trying to stay awake after continue to write for like hours. So he's kind of just being a library scribe in scrolls.
Mm-hmm. Flynn got a job.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He got a job because he needs to make an honest living.
An honest living.
So currently Flynn is up
boring.
towards the top of the island. He is working in the Dragon Lord's library and has been helping to produce spell scrolls and copy spell books and just do general magic research for the past week.
Oh, very nice.
I've told explicitly for Finn to stay with Eliza when I'm at work.
And Finn has no problem being out of your supervision for an extended period of time.
I know. I'd rather him be maybe with Eliza than be with me and potentially steal these books, of which I would love to have with me, by the way, and spell scrolls, of which I wouldn't steal, but
Being honest, doesn't sound
Tempting.
so good anymore.
You wouldn't steal. Nothing saying Finn won't.
no,
Finn, absolutely.
he would.
At the instruction of Duger.
That's the issue.
Peer pressure.
He falls under.
Peer pressure? Finn does not require pressure. He just requires peers.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what Flynn's doing at the moment. Just scribing down stuff and stretching his hands after writing with his quill for a while. It's like, oh gosh, I'm tired. So that's Flynn's morning or day.
All right, cool. Duger, what are you doing right now? Where are you at?
As the scene kind of shifts from, this probably lower lit library, it shifts into an equally lower lit, if not more lower lit, what appears to be a forge. Stone walls, steel tools everywhere, and you can see the bright burning forge with its bellows being pumped. And there, hunched over one of the anvils, you see a smaller figure, not wearing any helmet, not wearing a shirt, just like you can tell has been there for a while. And you just see him hammering away. Tink, tink, tink. Just working on gun parts, working on different, weapons, things like that. Just preparing, I guess, armor pieces. Specifically, one of the things that he works on is his gun, as he is making modifications and changing things to do more fun things. You can just kind of tell that he's almost in like a work trance, if that makes sense. Just like he's just there, and he doesn't really know his surroundings. He's just focused on that one piece of metal that he's working on in that time.
All right, Duger hammers on this gun, just like gets it out, and it's just like little by little fits a gemstone into a dial on the end, and just like hours pass, and after a little while, like you hold up the finished product, and just like your upgrades are now complete. And then suddenly you realize, your pants just fall down, leaving you just in your underwear. And you notice that Finn has stolen your belt buckle off of its belt somehow.
Of course. He's just like, he pulls them up and is like holding them and is like,
Finn is just like playing with the belt buckle, like trying to figure out how it, like playing on the joint repeated, like just like clink, 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 and seems to be having a grand old time.
You're just gonna ignore him. I'm sure this has happened before at this point.
Oh no, this is a new one.
This is new? This
Finn
is
has
a
been
new one?
actively trying to find ways to break your concentration this past week. And
Very
just-
nice.
Not yet succeeded and gotten results that he finds acceptable.
Can I roll a luck check really quick?
Sure.
Okay.
You still haven't found your dice yet, Gavin?
I haven't had time.
The tray of shame.
It's a 2.
It's a 2.
Just wake up, bring your own.
What were you hoping to have luck on?
I was going to reach into the bag of holding, and I was going to try and pull out a belt buckle. But
All right.
no such luck.
Noted. So you reach into your bag of holding and like to pull out a belt buckle, like just like little dwarvish curses, like reaches in, like starts trying to shove it on. When you realize that you accidentally grabbed a little like you're not sure how this got in there,
Oh boy.
but like somehow it appears that you have a tiny magical blowtorch, and now you've lit your pants on fire.
It's a forge. There's probably a,
You can
a
get
quench
it out pretty
tank
quick, and
somewhere.
then suddenly, like this little magic item that you didn't even know was in there is now spent.
No! Of course.
It's gonna be a
Well-
bad day for Duger, baby.
Duger's just gonna get another pair of pants, and he's gonna just tie his belt without the belt buckle.
All right. All right. As you do that and you emerge from out of the forge, the sun has crept further along. Like it's now well into the afternoon, and currently you're standing on a street. Standing on a street where you get nearby where you guys have been staying. For the past week, Elias's family has let you guys stay in their guest room, and you found a forge nearby that you've been able to work at. Not much has happened over the past week. Now, important question. What have you done with the Black Blade?
It was in an inn, right?
It wasn't an inn.
It wasn't an inn.
We can't put it in a bag of holding. We can't do any of that. Like, we can't even touch it. What if I somehow, like, very carefully tied a rope around it, and we, like, kind of, like, picked it up without touching it, and we took it to wherever we were staying, and then just, like, covered it with blankets so, like, no one could accidentally touch it or find it. Pretty
All right,
much.
yeah, you could have done that. As you try to do it, like through some slightly painful experiments at the beginning, you discovered that several materials will seemingly conduct the power to you. However, like dead plant material, like hemp rope, does not seem to do that. You did successfully manage to grab it with tie it up with some ropes and drag it to a room, and it is now currently in a corner of this forge that you're in. So
I would have made a new sheet for it as well. That's one of the things that I probably would have worked on.
All right, cool. You have made a sheath out of it. What did you make the sheath out of?
Good question. It probably would have just been a simple wood sheath.
That's a good decision because wood is dead plants. All right. So as long as you're touching the sheath, you're able to move the sword.
Okay, makes sense.
Though occasionally you've noticed it seem to vibrate and start draining. There have been a couple of times when you've been worried that it was going to start acting out again, like it did. Its power has not seemed to stop growing since the incident.
Oh no.
Gonna have to figure out something to do with that eventually.
Not my problem.
Could I just...
It will be
Was the issue that we
Right now, it's
weren't...
Not right now. I'm just saying that eventually you're gonna have to figure.
I know.
out something out.
I'm trying to... I was sorry. I was thinking out loud. I shouldn't do that.
All right. So you've finished your project that you've been working on for a week. Duger suddenly, for the first time since like the incident, hasn't been either recovering from 5 levels of exhaustion or feverishly working on a project, giving you a moment to truly think, which is exactly what Duger's been trying to avoid. So, what would you like to do now? Finn's gonna hop up on your shoulder and just like knock you on the helmet with the buckle.
I'm going to say, that was not a very nice prank.
Ting, ting, ting.
Okay, I get it. I need to think about something else. What to do now? Does he know that Finn is working at the library currently?
Yes, you do.
That's probably where he would go next, to check up on Flynn and just see how he's doing, what he's up to. And he also would probably want to do a little bit of his own research. He'd want to probably start looking into the Black Blade and possibly finding out what it is, why it does what it does, and maybe how to reverse what happened to Burning Whisper at the very least.
Ever and glorious day, a year after we started this campaign, Duger, who the dragon said would be capable of figuring out things about the Black Blade, has decided to try to learn his first thing about the Black Blade.
Oh yeah, baby! Yeah! I've been so focused.
That's what we came here for,
baby!
Which I forgot to mention. Yeah, it's essentially been a year of us playing.
I think in February
podcast.
it'll be a year.
This is February. I think we started
Holy crap! It is February.
We started late February. This channel. So yeah, it's coming about a full year of this.
What? Little nut moment.
Yeah.
Chill.
Take one of these.
Hey,
I didn't take the blue ones.
I know, but hey, listen, please.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right.
New Year's Revolution being
So you start heading up. As you head up through the upper city, just like
1 month sounds about right.
this city, like you've been in it long enough that like you've started getting used to it, but this is the nicest city that you've ever seen. Probably the most prosperous place that you've ever been, including the dwarven cities, which are pretty well taken care of. The homes are well maintained, look very nice. People walk around with like there's just a general air of security that you haven't really felt almost anywhere that you've been. As you approach the towards the upper limits of the city, where the library that Flynn's working at is, you once again, like the sun like darkens for a moment as the enormous dragon you saw the last time flies overhead again.
Would we have learned what that is at this point?
Yes, that is Dragon Lord Seirenoken.
Oh.
He is the ruler. He is considered to be one of the most powerful dragons in existence right now. Also one of the oldest. The only older ones that you know, the only older one that you've heard of is Iabel the Red Fang, the scourge of most of the Dragon Sea. And he is one of the only dragons that Iabel supposedly fears. He flies around with those adamantine claws and bracers because he uses them to smash through ships and things like that. He patrols all of this particular region of the Dragon Sea, chasing out pirates and hunting down monsters that harm other creatures.
Nice.
In other words, he is probably the most powerful warlord who is seeking justice ever.
The gold dragon then?
He is a bronze dragon.
Nice. Okay. Very good to know.
Yeah. This is his capital city. He claims this area as his territory and maintains it vigorously. Even the organization who you've dealt with before, like, they know that they cannot fight him and just deal and treat with him instead because he can't. They know they cannot beat him, and he provides significant trade security for them.
Makes sense.
He circles over to the top of the island and lands in the caldera where he keeps his lair. You keep on walking up, get up to the library. At the door, the ring that Mr. B gave you gets you entrance, and you can go in and you find Flynn sitting down at a desk minding his own business,
Scraping away.
completely quiet, and completely 100% unaware of you.
Don't tell him that.
Told him that for a reason.
Oh, I'm good now. I forgot. I'm not almost dead. I can take a long rest.
You've taken 5 of them. Well, actually, 7.
Sorry.
Just kind of like sitting there going through the spells and just writing down, mumbling under his breath and just writing whatever he can. Occasionally puts down the quill, stretches his hands, and just, oh gosh, why is this so tiring?
I'm gonna cast invisibility.
Nice.
So he can't see. He's not going to see me.
I should have taken
And
some
I also have a +7 to stealth and sleight of hand.
And you're not wearing your armor currently.
I'm not wearing my armor.
poor decision.
And
Stealthy decision.
stealthy decision.
Oh, sneaky.
I'm going to cast. Do I have mage hand? Levitate
Oh boy.
on as many of the books as I possibly can that are around him.
Technically, it's a single object, but I'm going to call a stack of books a single object for this moment in time. All right. So Duger just like creeps up, and Flint's just like writing things down, and then almost everything on your desk starts floating away.
That's all.
You see Finn lazily jumping from book to book.
No, Finn, no.
Finn came with you.
Just gonna turn and look around.
Unfortunately, levitate is also concentration, so
Therefore,
invisibility
invisibility's
drops
gone.
once you cast it.
Dang it! That was dumb of me. I didn't think about that.
I recognized. I wasn't gonna say anything though. Just, oh, hi, Duger. Is this prank yours?
What? No! I would never do something like this.
Finn opens a book and
Never.
starts like reaching and like acting like he's trying to tear out a page.
No. Just like snapping.
Let the monkey have some fun.
You guys just can't come in here when I'm working.
Oh, don't worry. I'm here for a purpose.
You weren't aware that he was working here until now, though.
Wait, what did you say?
Now fetch. Cat's out of the bag. Yes,
Takes
I
out the bag.
am all the time of me studying at the library. Well, it's not false. I kind of got a job here to make some money while we're here. And to also gain access to this library and gain information. But
Makes sense. That's perfectly boring. But that's okay. Boring is what we want right now.
it is what we want. It is nice and slow and calm and boring
And not
exhausting.
filled with death and suffering. That too is nice.
Yes, very true. Yeah, it keeps me from sleeping, so that's nice. Sleeping is never good. You can see like there's like some bags under his eyes.
Finn reappears and just like stands there and just like puts his hands together like monkey hands, like an overly long arms like this, and then goes up and then disappears again.
I
really
can't
gotta fix
sleep.
No,
He's on the clock right now.
Flynn can't sleep during work. He can't. You know what I'm saying? He, like he has gotten like sleep and rest throughout the week, but like has woken up from like a few terrors in the night. So he's like, okay, I'm just gonna clock in for the night and just start scribing. It's like, well, if we don't sleep, then we don't dream. We don't have nightmares. So therefore, we avoid our problems by going to work.
This is not healthy, by the way. And we don't condone
No,
it.
we don't condone this. Do
Have
not.
you not seen the way Flynn
not.
deals with combat? He never fights, really.
That's how I felt with depression in high school. It doesn't work, I promise you.
He always avoids the situation and never fights it. Therefore, he does the
healthy.
same
Not healthy.
thing.
It's not healthy.
I know.
Keep going.
That's why Flynn
Kids,
exists.
don't do what Flynn does. Flynn may be the only party member with common sense, but that doesn't mean he has all of the sense.
Common sense at a great cost. But yeah, so there's Flynn for you. Just like, yes, I'm working, and my work is now floating in the sky.
Oh yeah, sorry.
What are
And
the
then
books
all the books are just gonna fall.
One of the books had gotten to the ceiling.
Exactly.
Actually, wait, Duger, how much attention are you paying as you drop concentration?
Not almost. Well, close enough where I'm not like dropping them on people.
Could you make me a dex save?
Uh-oh. I'm okay at Dex. I'm decently okay at Dex.
Flynn, you can make that same check with the advantage because you realize as soon as he says that what's about to
17?
happen. 17? All right, you can take 2 bludgeoning damage.
Dex save. 18.
You take no bludgeoning damage.
Just
He catches it. And then, poof.
There's like 16.
I catch the one that's near and kind of just a little dodge out of the others. There's the one I was working on, and the others just kind of fall. I mean, I
Just gets smacked on the head, but just like it hits the helmet, but doesn't do anything.
Oh, I need that one too. I just have to finish these 2, and then I'm done for the shift.
Ah, sounds good. Well, I'm going to be here for the next little while, because I'm going to be doing some research. I know one of the things that I said was the Black Blade, but what else did I say I was going to do research on?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. So I guess the Black Blade
Is all it is. What are you here looking for? I might be able to help you find it.
Magical weapons.
I can't help you find that.
Yeah, well.
I've been working mainly on spells, not magical weapons. So probably ask William. Granted, though, he's not the best. Yeah, but you can ask him.
Tell me where the magic area is. I think I'm going to avoid talking to this William.
I think you should. William, we have someone interested in the weapon section.
William wakes up from where he's asleep at the librarian's desk. He's just like he's a halfling with the spectacles that should be that look like they're size for a Goliath. And just like,
Thank you, Flynn.
Of course, an eye for an eye, I guess.
Oh my God.
okay, yeah. How can I help you?
He was looking for magic weapons. If you could help him find that.
All right, I can do that. He starts dreamily walking off towards the corner of the library, gesturing for you to follow.
This isn't an eye for an eye. This is an eye for an arm.
I know.
He's missing both of them.
What can I say?
And I'm going to follow
He is
William
strong.
towards this section that he's going towards.
All right, so 1 second, I'm thinking. I'm trying to find a way I can misinterpret the words from the Sleepy Grog, but unfortunately, magic and weapons are kind of hard to mistake.
Yeah.
I guess he does actually lead you to the magic weapons section. Dang it.
You could just roll a d20 and we end up in another section and he's like...
Screwing himself over right now.
Okay, I'll do just that. Thank you very much.
You ruined yourself, Gavin.
Is it a natural 1?
No, the exact
A
opposite.
natural 20?
All right.
We're gonna end up on the other side of the library, aren't we?
William is going
end of
to.
town.
William the halfling wanders over, and you're following for a little while, and he seems to know where he's going until one thing you notice. It appears that one of the lenses on his glasses has fallen out since you were with him. You're not sure how it did that, but he's half blind right now.
Oh no.
And he leads you to a place like, this should be what you're looking for. And then he walks away.
It's not what I'm looking for, is it?
You appear to be in the ancient history section.
Oh, that should do you good.
That actually might not be a bad section to look in. In the ancient history section specifically, I want to look for some books that talk about maybe weapons of old that are powerful and people who wielded them. But I also want to maybe look for battles that were ended quickly by one person or a weapon or things like that in the ancient history section.
All right. So I need you to roll me a check for searching.
For searching?
Yeah, investigation check, I think.
Okay. You're going to dice jail. Investigation, you said.
You're not borrowing my dice either, by the way.
8.
I need
All
as
right,
many
you find
dice as I can
several
get.
books about ancient
All you
battles.
need is
As you
these.
dig through things, like you see the Dragon Wars,
If you ever use them today.
the
Probably won't need it, hopefully.
fall of Zadia. I mean, not Zadia. The fall of Xerxes.
I know.
You see like a bunch of random other battles. You see one about the dwarf orc wars. Another one that mentions what was it that one? I'm trying to think of. Brain not won't work. Yeah, you just see like titles like that. Like those sound very big and important to you, but you haven't heard of any of them and necessarily heard of any of them. Like you feel like one or two of them like ring a bell, but yeah.
Dang.
You're sure that there's something that could be helpful here, but you're not sure where to start.
Makes sense.
Suddenly, the library doors like boom open, and you hear and someone walks in. Like you can't see it, but like you hear the clicking of a cane. And Eli, you are
look like a red
halfway through your last book of the day.
Scarlet Tempest.
You're halfway through the last book of the day when suddenly a big but like an enormous scroll lands in front, like it gets dropped on the book in front of you. You look up and Mr. B has dropped it right in front of you.
Oh, Mr. B, what are you doing here?
Well, I live in the city, of course, and I come here all the time. This is the library is one of the many institutions which I'm a patron for.
Makes sense. I just didn't know. I guess it slipped my mind.
Yes, you've actually been working for me the past week. I just haven't been present. I found out that you applied for the job the other day. If you had asked, I would have given you a much better position. I could have gotten you a salary of double what you were currently earning. But that's no concern right now. I found some more information about the gemstone that I showed you.
The gemstone, the one that like did all the weird fortune-telling stuff.
Yes, the one that's provided the prophecy. You see,
that.
He opens it up and like it's written when like in Draconic, like there are Draconic runes written all over it, and like what looks like it could be the depiction of the gemstone. You see, I've done I found this scroll deep in the shifting straits. That was a very dangerous expedition, I will tell you. We lost 3 boats. However, there were no casualties. All of them had ways of being able to teleport back to the city if it was needed. But you see, this is like he starts going off and like he's using words that you don't recognize about magic.
I'm a novice when it comes to magic, so yeah, just slow down, Mr. B. Let's wait a second. Duger's also in the library at the time.
Duger, you hear this when he walks in, like you can figure out what's going on.
I'm going to head back to where Flynn is and just be
All right, you can take the
"Hello,
books
Mr. B."
You take the books that you found and like head down there. All right. Ah, yes, Duger. You said I made a breakthrough on our gemstone.
Oh, wonderful!
Yes, yes. In quite literal sense, he holds out a thing, and there are shattered pieces of gemstone. In his hands.
What happened?
I broke it.
It's not supposed to be able to break.
But you see, that's something interesting I discovered. What if it was?
I don't think it was.
The question you asked. What if?
So he like spreads them out and he takes one of them, like holds it out to you. He's like, look at this.
I look at it very carefully.
You take a look at it. As you look around, start looking around at the edges, you notice a pattern that you didn't see in it before. There appears to be a mark that looks like a dragon head and an axe behind it. In the grain of the gemstone.
What? What's wrong?
In the grain of the
Like, the
gemstone?
actual crystalline
Similar to
structure
the
of the
dwarves.
gemstone has this pattern in it.
Chemically, I don't think that's possible.
Magically, magic with chemistry does interesting things.
Yes, it does. I would know that.
That's
I just changed a few lines in the spell and bada bing.
Bada bing, bada boom, she's your girl. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, that's not how I
what is this supposed to mean?
I haven't the foggiest idea. And here, you take a look at this one.
Uh-oh.
All right. On it, there's a pair of crossed swords. One of them looks shockingly similar to Captain Zephyr's blade.
Okay.
I was on the same boat. I was like, he's alive. He's alive still, but nope. He's like, let me see your piece.
I'm gonna hand it to him.
So look at it. Is it similar? Is it what he saw, or?
Yeah, it's still the dragon thing.
This shouldn't happen. And so, explain slowly. How did you break it? And when did you discover the marking and runes inside? And also, where did you get this?
The stone itself I discovered actually in a cavern on this island.
Okay.
Yes, so the Dragon Lord has collected quite a number of interesting items throughout the course of his very long life, and I got permission to study a few of the particularly mysterious ones. This was one that I found, and as it intrigued me so, I decided to make a permanent trade with the Dragon Lord. It cost me quite a bit, an arm and a leg, quite literally, an arm and a leg of a ancient mechanical machine that I had never, looked as if it was part of an enormous robotic creature. But, that's not of relevance at the moment. So, I traded him with it, I got the gemstone, and then as I've been traveling with it, I discovered that it has an interesting tie to various places, such as with you. Anytime that you two and your companions interacted with various things, it would provide new visions. However, it also had connections with many other creatures who I was unable to track down, who I've been attempting to track down. It was in following one of these trails that I realized that all of them were moving at such speeds that attempting to track and capture or whatever it is that I need to do would be almost impossible at the slow rate that I could do the tracking. However, one of the connections was completely stationary. And so, I followed that there, and I discovered an island that did not move within the shifting straits. A true island, not one of the floating ones either. It just stuck up out of the water. I have no idea how it's managed to go out to how an island formed in such deep ocean, but then again, I've only ever truly traveled this sea. This may be a common occurrence in other places, but who knows? But I discovered on this place a temple, and that's where I discovered this scroll. And by studying it, I learned some more things about it. Apparently, this gem was not originally a hole.
It wasn't a hole?
No, it was made out of each individual grain of diamond dust was, well, zirconium dust. It's close enough at this point, but was originally something else. And this stone has been broken and reformed dozens of times throughout history, with different prophecies each time.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy, indeed.
And how accurate are these prophecies?
Completely and 100%, a 100% failure rate.
What?
What?
It appears that this stone foretells doom for the express purpose of preventing it.
So you're saying that it's broken?
I am saying that it was intended to be broken, and I'm very glad that I was right about that. That would have been unfortunate if it wasn't.
This is why I don't believe in fate and prophecies.
Do all of these other shards have...
Indeed they do. Here,
Symbols
he
on
reaches
them?
down into one of them and hands it over to you.
I look.
On it appears to be a small dagger of a really weird shape. it's twisted and curved, and every time you change it, like it looks slightly different. And here's another one, and he hands out another one. This one appears to be nothing more than just like a stylized tempest and storm. And this one of late has become especially interesting. Grabs one that's glowing a little bit brighter than the others, hands it to you, and on it there's just a black spot in the rough shape of a sword.
Wow.
I think I know what that one is supposed to be. Question. Are all of these shards relatively uniform, or are they very different shapes and sizes?
They're very different shapes and sizes.
Okay. So it was like shattered. It wasn't like broken apart.
Well, each one looks like it could have been its own gemstone. They are definitely different shapes and sizes, but like
They look like they could fit together like a puzzle.
it looks like it almost looks as if they were cut, like not shattered, like the gems were actually cut.
What?
But they are definitely different shapes and sizes.
Makes sense.
Like the one that you're holding, that the two of you are holding, are significantly larger than that dagger one.
Interesting. Well, I know what this one means. And I know what this one means. The one that has the dragon and crossed axes. I have no idea what it means. Can I take a look at the scroll? You said it's in Draconic, right? Which I believe I can read. So I'm going to just kind of like take a look at it. And is there any like words or phrases or any, like I'm just kind of skimming it, but is there anything that just pops out kind of while I skim it quickly?
There's one thing that stands out to you. As you skim it very quickly, first of all, it's faded in a lot of areas, so like it would take a long time to truly parse it together. Some things you've noticed are like the word outsider is marked. Another one is the name of a god, Salzan.
Oh, yes, that one.
Ah.
Yeah, those are the two that like are like seem that like you can that like the two words that stand out the most. A lot of them are just like various things about. This appears to have been written by someone who's attempting to research this thing themselves a long time ago. And yeah, those are the two words that stand out the most to you. The rest of it is mostly research terms. Things about how like the structure of the zircon has been twisted into various ways. Observations about what it did. Notably, those observations of the patterns that they see are very different from the patterns you currently see.
It almost appears as this stone of sorts has been a bit mysterious for a very long time. Does this scroll seem pretty old, like ancient?
Yeah.
Okay. It seems this stone has been very unknown for a long time.
Yes, and now I'm even more curious about who could have possibly created it.
The gods, perhaps.
Honestly, at this point, that is the best conclusion I can come to.
Specifically, this scroll that you found mentions Salzan
It does
quite
indeed.
often.
It also mentions the...
Outsider?
Yes, it also mentions the Outsider. I've heard of him. There are prophecies and legends about a creature called the Outsider among various different cultures. He's always considered to be an enigmatic person who... Depending on the culture, whether he's a hero or a villain, it's unclear. But regardless, he always is a herald of great events. Though, an interesting thing that I've recently been discovering about these things is that each of them, and you've now confirmed, each of these 10 pieces that we have here appear to be correlated to one person. And meeting over here, he marks over at a passage that's so smudged that you can barely make it out. Like, you can recognize runes, but you can't read any words. I've spent quite some time studying this thing, but this passage right here describes how the gem does not control fate or truly see fate. It merely shows a path to walk. And each piece of it can be tied to a person capable of walking the path. Not that they are forced to or that they will, just that they can.
It's almost like an instructional guide to how to save the world, pretty much.
Yes, and I believe those visions that it produces occur when one of the person involved, one of the people that can walk the path, comes and finds the tools comes in contact with the tools they need in order to properly to solve the problems, to save the world.
I wonder. Well, obviously we're not going to discover everything about this gemstone today.
I'd appreciate your assistance in studying it further, but for the moment, I believe that for the moment, this is all I've discovered.
This
is interesting for sure.
Further.
This is interesting information that you have brought to us. These gems are your specialty, Duger. I'm not gonna lie.
Is there another gem?
Is there another what?
Is there another gem that has something that could possibly represent Q on it?
As you look around at them, you're trying to identify one that could be Q. You narrow it down to two that you feel like could represent Q. One of them is a mall with wings behind it. Like, the mall feels reminiscent of Q, but wings, you've never seen anything that could connect into that. And the other one seems to have a set of scales on it, but also a set of keys. And the scales, that could be representative of balance, which Salzan apparently is correlated with, but the keys, you have no idea what that might be about.
Are either one of them glowing or appear to be different colors or black spots or whatever?
Rolling an Arcana check.
Arcana check. I'm not using that stupid dice anymore.
Just don't use Eli's dice.
Here. Bring your own dice.
Use this dice.
All my dice.
Yes, I know. It's a good thing when I roll that for you guys.
I will use that next time. Investigation, you said? Or Arcana?
There's a reason why I picked the dice tree
15?
of shame.
15. One thing that you have, as you start looking at them,
just my
you
dice
notice an interesting thing. Each of them appears to be vibrating. Yeah, every single piece, it's not really perceptible when you're just holding it. But, well, actually, no. There is one that is perceptible when you're holding it. When you're holding your own, you can perceive the vibrations. The others, as you use jeweler's tools and things like that, you're able to detect the vibrations that each of them have of varying strengths. There are three that are the strongest. Yours is by far the strongest when you are checking it. Flynn's is the second strongest, followed by the one with the black spot on it. And then the fourth one that's vibrating a lot is one that has a curved looking fang on it.
Curved looking fang. He's just going to go, Mr. B, as he's kind of looking at with these jeweler's tools, have you noticed that there's a slight vibration in each of these?
Oh, and you asked if one of them was dark. The storm one is barely vibrating at all, as is the one that has the scales and the keys. That one is vibrating the least out of all of them. But it's still vibrating.
I have a feeling I know whose that is.
Do you? You have so little information. It seems early to make conclusions.
Well, I'm going to say that, and I'm going to say, Mr. B, have you noticed that these are slightly vibrating? Here,
Vibrating, you say?
take a look.
He takes it out, looks at it, puts it away for a moment, pulls out a little thing, like pulls out a little tuning fork looking thing, like puts it on there, and like suddenly you can hear the vibrations. Odd. He takes it, like places it on the storm one, like very, very, very quiet vibration of a significantly higher pitch. Places it on yours, like it sounds like a hammer, like it makes a produce, like the pitch is similar to that of a hammer ringing on metal.
Is that a material, or not material, a plain tuning fork?
No, this is simply a tuning fork that I use for measuring magic. There are many types of magic that produce vibrations, and it's always helpful to have one around.
Convenient.
Interesting.
I do produce those. Have those though. He pulls out 3 other tuning forks.
I'm going to pull out the little doll of Q that I made, and I'm gonna say, "Can I borrow the tuning fork really quick?"
Which one?
The one that he was using first to detect
takes
the
it.
magic, and I'm gonna just kind of like, you know, the ones with the scales, and then the one with the maul on it. Just gonna kind of, which one is vibrating more?
The one with the maul on it is vibrating slightly more.
And then I'm gonna get it close to both of them at the same. The doll of Q that has his little
I thought
gear
you
in
put the gear in the dragon homunculus.
Did I put it in the dragon?
I think you
homunculus?
did.
I did. I'm gonna do the dragon homunculus, let it get close, and
It does not react to either of them.
interesting. What about? I'm gonna just kind of have it go over the other ones, and as it moves, I'm just gonna kind of keep it close.
It doesn't react to any of them.
Dang it! I wanted to find cues. I'm still stuck on that a little bit. I'm just kind of gonna say, okay, thank you, and hand it back to him.
Just gonna jump a little bit when that stupid dragon comes out. Just gonna. Duger.
Oh, may I see it, please?
Sure.
He picks up the dragon, and just like it looks a little mechanical squeal as like Mr. B starts like turning it over, like looking at it. Like, what metal did you make it out of again?
I would have made it out of mithril.
Mithril.
Yeah.
It's such a shame that we don't actually have mithril dragons.
No, it's
So
not.
fascinating.
It would be quite interesting.
No, it would not.
Actually, I do believe I heard a record about one mithril dragon once upon a time, many years ago. Well, actually, many years ago by our reckoning. I suppose by the dragon's reckoning that dragon will only be an adult by now. But still, that's not important right now. It's fascinating. Beautiful workmanship. Oh, and this is an application of this one bronze gear. It's quite striking. It's like, gonna give it back.
We did happen to run into a moonstone dragon?
Moonstone dragon, yeah.
Moonstone dragon.
Ah,
A
yes.
baby moonstone dragon.
Oh. These are good tidings indeed for the north then.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. It was quite interesting.
was
We had a bit
terrifying.
of a strange interaction with it, but it was fine.
We don't talk about it.
We didn't
Well,
talk about it because it was great.
Speaking of talking about it, I noticed that you are short 2 companions. I believe I need to hear. I would be most interested to hear your story.
That's another thing I don't. Yes.
We were headed north to the Northern Isles. We heard about possibly a lead on something up there. And while we were, I don't remember the name of the island, but we were stopped at a relatively smaller island, and we ran into someone by the name of Kyranos, I believe.
As soon as you say that, like, Mr. B's face is going to darken.
What do you know about Tyrannos?
Well, he's one of the Dragon Lord's most wanted criminals of history. He hunts dragons without any qualms or qualifications for who they are or what they have done.
He was riding atop of a undead white dragon.
Most recent thrall, I assume.
Probably.
You can control up to 3 at once.
What?
Used to have current. They do not heal. Whatever damage they are taken will never be recovered, and so they're constantly filtering through. Did he happen to have an adult white dragon with it? No, so an adult emerald dragon with him?
Did we notice an adult female dragon? I cannot remember.
No, I remember it being a cold dragon, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness that one's dead then.
Yeah, any dragon is terrifying. The fact that he was able to ride one after killing... The thing is, what information do you know about him? We have a very strong feeling he's going to keep coming after us.
Only that he hates dragons for some reason. He has two other crews who are loyal to him, and that he is driven beyond all belief. If you have something he wants, he will continue to pursue it.
Well, that's reassuring.
He also was at one point a paladin to
No way.
someone. I believe it was Leia, but no longer.
I believe he had a companion by the name of Esmeralda as well. Mm-hmm. Am I mistaken on that?
That is
No,
indeed one of
that's
her.
correct.
That is the name of the skipper of one of the crews.
You clever son of a gun.
I mean, I appreciate it. What did I do specifically to earn this one?
You know what Esmeralda means?
What?
It means emerald.
Well, that's not...
No
knowledge
comments.
We can't use yet. That's fine.
You clever son of a gun. I was like, I think that's what it means in Spanish, but I wasn't sure, and I just looked it up.
No comment.
Is there...
Trouble.
You'll see if that's actually the case, if you're right on this. Emerald dragons cannot shapeshift, I will say.
They cannot shapeshift unless they're polymorphed.
Unless they're polymorphed. But polymorph only goes into beasts.
Oh,
So, do you have any sheets or any kind of information of which we can acquire to learn as much as we can about this man?
I can provide you with what I have. I can put in a request for the information.
I'd be much grateful.
I will tell you that he cannot show his face here. Should he do so, he would be immediately confronted by the Dragon Lord personally. And as strong as Tyrannos may be and as many dragons as he has killed, I doubt he could defeat him. Dragon Lord Saito has been here since the fall of Emperor Goldwing. There are no humanoids. There are very few humans or even elves that still live that remember Emperor Goldwing.
Oh, he does have some connection to the Feywild, so he might get a little daring.
We ended up in the Feywild, and then we ended up in the Hag's Swamp, and then
Q let us get out
somebody ate a bowl of soup and ended up with Q's death. And then we got back, and
Dead? Death?
dead, gone.
Also,
That little brass gear is all that's left.
yeah. Also, speaking of which, Q was a sentient piece of walking metal.
He was an automaton of sorts.
I will need to pull some records on that as well. But if he's dead, then does that mean he looks over at the diamond shards?
That could be why they're not as powerful or faint. And then Burning Whisper got sucked into the sword that you quested us to go find.
He got sucked into the sword.
It started acting up. It was basically sucking the magic out of the air. We couldn't cast magic, we couldn't use magical items, we couldn't do anything. And it was almost as if any essence that Burning Whisper had was being sucked into the sword, and then he was just poof, gone.
I can see why you're reticent to speak of this.
It's not
deepest
pleasant
condolences.
memories. So yeah, it's been a very relaxing week from the past events. Which also, we are going to be heading back out to the Northern Isles. And I've been wondering if you might have some gear we could, by chance, use. Any gear that could potentially help us in any way.
Tyrannos is our main concern.
I can provide you some things. I possess...
He was also after the Black Blade, is what he wanted.
How could he use that, though? Shouldn't it suck his magic as well?
I don't know, but he
wanted
it
it
badly.
Enough to kill Q and follow us to the Feywild. And probably back out of it.
You say that you came here from, like, you entered here through the Feywild?
Mm-hmm.
As far as I knew, there were no portals to the Feywild or from the Feywild that could access here. Interesting.
Ask Flynn about that.
I have no idea how I did it. Finn told me there was a portal, so I used it.
Portals usually have a set exit point. Curious. I'll have to do some...
We ended up in the middle of the street. It was
Yeah.
quite abrupt.
Well, you've given me much information to think on. I will provide you some equipment. I have rings of non-detection I can give you that will protect you from many forms of divination magic.
That would be quite useful. I don't know how he tracked us last time, but he followed us all the way across the Northern Isles.
Followed us.
You actually never got to the Northern Isles.
Well, he followed us all the way across the northern part of the Dragon Sea. Literally, it started with Esmeralda.
It did.
It did indeed.
Terrified for what that means.
But yes, this is good information, and it's good to see a friendly face, I guess.
Well, I will make preparations for you. I can have what you need prepared by the end of tomorrow, should you need it.
That should be good. Probably head out then.
I will do my own research, and do any findings that you find on these would be appreciated as well.
I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the library, and he's going to pull out his gun, and he's going to be like, I've been working on some upgrades, as he spins it, and clearly shows the ruby implanted into it, and then right back in the holster.
All right. And final item of business. He gestures towards the diamond shards. I cannot get these to do anything any longer. I believe it would likely be best if you carried, at the very least, the ones that feel strongest to you. Possibly, they may even help you find the others.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't have a crew with just 2 people.
Definitely not. I'm just gonna...
Put your smirk away.
Are you in need of a crew? I met someone on the way here who seemed quite skilled and quite eager to be of assistance.
Yes, we do need more people.
But we need to warn them what they're getting into.
And to be great judges of character. As I don't want just any random stranger on the ship.
Well, should you require funding to pay for it, that is something that I can help to pay for your crew. I can help provide that to a certain extent. You know the best place to look for sailors. Eliza's father's tavern is still where all the unemployed sailors go.
That is true.
Speaking of, Eliza seems quite skilled in healing.
She's not traveling with us.
She wouldn't be in any more danger than she would be here.
I'd rather...
And you can keep an eye on her and keep her safe. That's a good line of logic, honestly.
Duger has a preference on the method of getting a healer.
However, it would kill me for her to be in danger because I brought her aboard on this quest.
Okay. Well, this seems like a
Fair
conversation that you two need to have personally. I will be off. Do you wish to take all of them or just a few?
We'll hold on to all of them.
Yes.
All right.
It might help us find more people who might be somehow involved in this wild prophecy.
All right.
Doomed prophecies fail.
You may add the shards to your inventory.
I wonder how much they're worth.
No!
What can I make out of these? More upgrades.
Upgrades. It's like, oh, well. William, I'm done.
Huh? He somehow has found his lens again.
William, tell that I'm done with my shift, and I am also quitting. Good day.
Oh, okay. You're welcome back anytime.
He's not gonna tell him. I'm gonna grab like a piece of paper and write it down as a note. Just fold it and like stuff it behind the desk where he won't drool over it as he sleeps. It'll be a place where he'll notice when he wakes up or whenever the next shift comes in, and just here's my 2 weeks notice.
2 weeks. Yes. Also, I will be unavailable for those 2 weeks.
Yeah. So you notice how he scheduled my time off, and I also requested 2 weeks. So essentially, I am quitting. So yes, kind of slips it there and it's like, all right, Duger, let's head back down to the tavern, and let's see if we can find anyone that's worthwhile. And I'm just gonna start marching down.
I'm actually going to say, I need to stay here, I think. You can focus on getting people for the crew. I need to do some research.
Sounds good.
And I'm not going to get William's help this time. I probably could find it better than he could. Purely
Did
based
you-
on logic.
During this time, did you hand off the earrings, or are they still like...
He hasn't made them yet.
I haven't technically made it
Okay.
yet.
That's what I was wondering. So yeah, I'm just gonna make my way downtown.
Making my way downtown.
Yeah.
I don't know the words to this song.
Anyways. Yeah, so go downtown and start searching at the tavern for some new people.
All right. You sit down. You head on. We're actually gonna get him first, and then we'll come and over to you. So, Duger, what do you want to research?
Specifically, I want to look for... Okay. I want to look for anything on the Black Blade, obviously. Anything that I can find on a blade that is black, that does weird stuff to magic. And I want to look for anything on, like, divination and prophecies, specifically connected to, like, ancient, like disasters that were prevented, if that makes sense.
All right. I want 2 separate investigation rules.
All right.
Do you have any sections of the library that you want to look in?
The
Depending on
first
what
one-
you choose, it will determine the DC of the rules.
Magical weapons, like any sort of magic items, I guess is where I should look, and general magic.
Okay.
The first one, that like didn't roll. Arcana, or what did you say?
Investigation.
Investigation. It's going to be a 17 for the first one.
Where are you looking for the second one?
Oh, for the second one? Specifically, I would look probably in like the religious section and general magic and gemstones as well.
All right.
That makes sense, but that was a terrible roll.
Which means
7. So
okay. You find nothing on that particular topic. The other one, the DC was indeed 17 because you did not choose the right sections.
Come back.
You are looking around and trying to find things about the Black Blade and things like that, and you find a mention of the Black Blades.
The Black Blades.
Last time
Plural.
we did research, there were 3 that we remember.
And though you find it, like, as you're looking in the magic weapons section, you see something that mentions a particular blade trying to copy the hex blades, and the hex blades and the black blades. This is the oldest text in the magic weapons section. And it after that is all you can find in this particular section. When you start looking for magic in general, you find a second reference to the black blades. And it mentions that they are not considered like that. 2 of them are considered to be magical.
Does it mention names of them at all?
Roll me one more investigation check. Researching specifically.
Okay, I let you back into the dice tray. You know what? I'm not gonna roll in the dice tray. How about? I'm gonna roll just on the table.
Multiple hand, you can use this tool.
Absolutely. Yeah. What did you say it was? Investigation?
I was like, oh, you'll use it.
7.
Deal. No.
No, yeah.
Eli, your dice suck.
Bring your own dice!
I don't know where they are. I have like literally over $100 worth of dice, and I don't know where they are.
Awesome.
Okay. Well,
Gosh.
7.
They exist.
Good information.
Well, in theory, they exist. They haven't been seen in thousands of years. It might be a myth. So maybe they exist.
All right.
They are mentioned in books.
Nice. Gosh, freaking dang it! How long has Duger been at the library at this point?
An hour.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Actually, probably 2.
I have to guess the right section.
No, you don't have to guess the right section. You just have to not roll 7.
There's also
Tell it
more
to
than
the
just
dice.
really working.
You could just keep reading the book until you understand it.
I try and do that with statics, and it doesn't work.
Me too, buddy. Don't worry.
It works for me in physics.
It doesn't work for me in physics. Are you using the free textbook or whatever that's
Yes.
online? Yeah. That's
I love physics.
textbook confused me.
I
Anyway,
like that one.
because it's free.
Yes. I am cheap, everybody.
I believe everyone at this table is cheap except for me.
Yep.
If I had money to use it. But I don't have it.
Shoot. Well. Sorry. I'm like at a loss for what to do.
We could just come back.
Roll me a random d20.
A random d20?
Have you tried talking nicely to the dice?
Who else?
15?
15. As you're looking around in there, your pocket starts buzzing in a weird.
My pocket?
Oh, my phone's going off.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket and see what's in there first.
The gemstone with the black blade on it is pulsing a weird pattern.
I'm gonna kind of just wave it around, like kind of.
You like hold it up, and as you're like waving around, trying to use it as a metal detector, suddenly you're not in your body anymore. You're seeing you're back in a vision that you've seen before. The very first time that you guys got the blade, you saw a vision of a man that wielded it. You see the same guy facing against a horde of monsters, swings it, an enormous wave of black goes, and the monsters get sucked into it. Another one of the man standing in front of an army, tearing his way through it. And then a final one of like multiple dragons fighting against him, and then he gets sucked into it on his own. As you're looking over there and trying to see what it is, you're looking around and you recognize the land that you're standing on. That's the Iron Heights that this vision is taking place in.
I want to go to the ancient was it? Like Ancient War section or whatever it was, Ancient History section. And I want to. This hasn't been seen in thousands of years, you said, right?
Nope.
So I want to go to the Ancient History section, and I want to look for battles that occurred in the Iron Heights that were won with overwhelming force. And did I?
No, the final one with the dragon fighting it, where it was a super close battle and extremely
That one.
destructive.
Yeah, that one I want to look for. Sorry, I was like not thinking right.
This is occurring at the end of the Orc Wars. Like as you're looking, you can find that this is indeed like there's a battle that that mentions one of the Black Blades was applied towards the end of the Orc Wars. Actually, they sometimes don't even consider this one to be part of the same wars because the orcs were no longer part of it.
Nothing.
Could I tell what kind of dragon it was?
Yeah, the dragons were very clear. One of them was gold, one of them was silver, and a significantly smaller one was bronze.
Interesting.
The goldest was the biggest one.
Okay, does it mention any names of the dragons in this
Not
book?
in the vision. Oh, but no. The book isn't mentioning
Okay.
that battle. So as you look around, now I need you to make the investigation check.
Ah. Okay, you rolled good last time. Please do it again. That's a 20!
So,
Yeah, baby! That's kind of gross, but yes.
Thank you! Or a
We all
25.
touch that.
wow, you have a +5 to this? You've been rolling this badly?
Yes!
Wow.
I rolled so many 2s. It's not even funny.
All right,
So
so
me bless it.
towards the end, the Orc Wars were
powers.
kicked off originally when the kingdom of Xerxes fell.
Okay.
They lasted almost 500 years before the orcs were finally completely pushed back by the dwarves of Hran Domheim. But at that point, the humans, like the humans and elf settlers that had moved over towards the other side of the Iron Heights, they've been managed to build out their kingdoms, but had been conquered by a tyrant who was like a fallen hero, basically. Like he had become a tyrant. The dwarves, who thoroughly hated dragons, teamed up with them in order to fight against him and to eventually overthrow him. The sword that the reason the tyrant was so strong is because he wielded one of the 3 black blades, called the Weave Render.
This is all stuff that Wesley already found out, but we didn't know because he didn't share it.
Yeah, so
Nobody wanted to
the
talk
3
to me.
names, actually, this part, like you find a reference to a very specific
That
book
weird
that
kid
will
in the
tell you
corner
about
saying,
Look
at my
about
sword.
the black blades. You find said book and find because of the Nat 20, and get information about all 3 of them. All 3 of them look different, but all of them are of a deep black color. The Weave Render is considered non-magical, and it devours all magic. Black Razor is indeed considered magical, as is the Blade of Annihilation. The Blade of Annihilation, it consumes anything it touches, any physical thing that it touches. It can be interacted with magic, and it cannot destroy souls like Black Razor does, but it can, if you take a bag of holding and put it in another bag of holding, it's described as the most similar thing as to what happens when the Blade of Annihilation interacts with literally anything.
That's not good.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Black Razor, the last time it was used was in the hand of the King of Xerxes, which is why it fell. So, don't mess with it, is basically what the book says. The Weave Render, other than this particular moment, has never been mentioned. They're not sure how, the book does not contain a record of how the tyrant was defeated. Supposedly the dwarf champions fought and defeated them, but you're pretty sure that's not quite right because it doesn't line up with the vision you saw. It looked more like the guy got consumed by his own power.
We render. What was it? The Annihilator?
The Blade of Annihilation.
The Blade of Annihilation. What was the other one?
Black Razor.
Black Razor. Thank you.
No. Maybe you need to bleed down.
Maybe you get off my keys with my mom.
You're on my case first, get off! Hop off my horse!
Destroys
Gosh, this fetching old married couple.
Cause the fall of
Let's see.
Xerxes.
Oh, the way it caused the fall of
See how
Xerxes
much
is by
we
devouring
here
the souls of every living creature within thousands of miles and casting a
not
curse that
gonna
will draw all souls that get close to it. So yeah, that's why Black Razor is scary. He eats souls.
That was the
No,
Black
better-
Razor.
That was the
a little
Black
bit.
Razor.
That caused the fall of Xerxes.
Let's see what
Blade of
happens.
Annihilation, no one has any clue where it is, and there are
Let's
no
move it
records
back
of
down.
its use.
Very telling.
They know what it does. You're not
there's-
sure how they know that, considering that there are no records of its use, but they know what it does.
Cheese cube. Nah, there's one back there.
Stuff. And sorry, what was about the weave render?
The Weave Render has only ever been used twice in history. Once is mentioned, but it doesn't say any details of it. The other one is in the hands of this tyrant. Supposedly both times it ended in disaster, and it's considered just as dangerous as the other two to use, even though it's slightly less volatile than either. Actually, no, it's probably just a little bit. It's probably more volatile than Black Razor, but not by much.
Thank you. Black blades. Oh boy.
In terms of specific details, as far as you can tell,
Yeah.
the record says
Pretty
that no one could touch the no one could touch the Weave Render except for like the Tyrant King himself, and that he had a particular item that he used in order to contain its power, which was just a simple white cloth that he wrapped around it, and for some reason when it was wrapped in that, it didn't act out.
No one could touch the weave render.
Except for himself. Like, no one could do it at all.
I read anything. You guys kept taking it from me.
Because you couldn't hold anything.
I could keep it on me, but everyone's like, put it in my bag or hold it.
Yeah, everything got lost in his
They're
bag
like-
folding.
They're like, hey, put everything in the bag except for the sword. I'm like, okay. Except for the clothes on my back and that sword. You guys took everything from me.
You literally were a child.
What was it? Wait, sorry, it was.
Do you have any other questions you would like to ask?
Does,
You've got a nat 20, so I will answer 1 or 2 questions.
Does the book about the tyrant and the Black Blade, either one of them, does it mention anything about the dragons that the tyrant fought with the Black Blade?
The book mentions that the dwarves and the dragons made an alliance, and it was the first time since the Dragon Wars.
Really?
First and only.
I'm very curious about that gold dragon and that bronze dragon, very specifically. Because it was you said it was a significantly smaller bronze dragon, right? Mm-hmm. Which probably means that it was a younger bronze dragon at the time. And the dragon who is in charge of this island is a very, very, very old bronze dragon at this point. I'm curious. I wanted to know if it mentioned possibly a name or anything about that, but probably not.
The book was written about dwarven history, and it doesn't really mention the dragons.
Dang it.
Other than that they were there.
Because it might be a good source for us. We could ask the ancient bronze dragon about the sword if he was there.
Not saying that I condone it, but you could potentially steal the book.
Duger's a changed man.
No, he's
he doesn't
not.
steal.
We all knew what was about to happen there. All right. You proceed to start stealing books.
Yep.
Write down whatever books you want to steal as you put them in the inventory because you're stuffing. Wait. You start trying to stuff books in there, and the bag of holding is full again.
I will have a chat with him.
What are you gonna do? Beat him?
I mean, you could take stuff out.
I will take stuff out. Do I have to?
Check out all the monkey crap you put in there.
There is a lot of monkey crap in there.
But it's so valuable.
Roll a D. Are you gonna
Walk
take
out with
stuff
the
out?
books in your hand then, or check them out or something, like a normal human being.
I'm gonna take 240 gold worth of jewelry and stuff.
Roll a D20 real fast.
Why don't you
no.
just make?
Oh no!
Why don't you just make another infusion of a bag of holding?
Because I don't have any more infusions.
You can change them out.
2. I rolled another freaking. This is like the 5th one today.
In this particular case, that's a
just
good
check
thing.
them out.
You
Just
reach
check
into
them
your
out
bag
and never
and
return
pull
them.
out an enormous bag of rotting banana peels.
Yeah, that's fair.
Told you.
You have no clue how Finn got it in there.
It's a pretty big.
It looks, or when. You must have been sleeping at the time. It looks like there were still bananas in there, but they haven't been touched in long enough that they're definitely not good.
I'm just gonna put it on the floor of the library.
All right. Now I'm not
steel
space
books.
for the 2 books. Well, how many books is it that you wanted to take?
It was those 2 books, and then I want to possibly, if it is possible, find a couple more books that talk about the history of Saito and possibly I forget the name of the bronze dragon that kind of rules over it.
Dragon Lord Saito Noken.
Saito Noken? Okay. And possibly about him and his history a little bit.
You can find any of those books, no problem. You don't
Okay,
have to worry.
sounds good.
Like there's a section about local history.
Sounds good. That's the plan. Then I'm going to steal a couple of those books as well.
Go ahead, you steal a couple of those books.
I'm
All right.
stealing from a public library.
No, it's not a public library.
Oh, it's a private library? It's
Owned by the Dragon Lord.
I'm gonna return the books eventually.
That's why I didn't steal.
Owned by a lawful good Dragon Lord who smashes ships for piracy.
I'm just borrowing them temporarily. I will bring them back.
Yeah, of course. Make sure you leave an IOU too.
Yeah.
Just an IOU in the book slot, just like.
No, he left an IOU. He left an IOU. He left a bag of bananas. All right, Eli. Meanwhile, how are you going about the recruiting process?
I'm just kind of going down into the tavern and pulling my best Aragon, sitting in the corner, kind of. Yeah, this is downstairs one. Just kind of sitting in the corner, watching a lot of the people, kind of like watching sailors, watching people, trying to like do my best judge of character. Like, all right, I have someone on crew that's really good with building stuff, but not good with a ship. So I need someone that can actually understand how a ship works. Just the basics is all I ask for. Just like watching, scanning the room. I was like, okay. And I guess I catch like a few people that look like they could be good. But yeah, I'm just kind of like sitting in the corner.
All right, yeah. 3 people catch your eye as you're watching. One of them is a dragonborn woman who appears like she looks older and is carrying all the equipment that like you'd like. Yeah, this person knows what they're doing, and like seems worthwhile. You see a very young man that you would have never suspected as a possible crew member, except he's got one of the amulets that helps you navigate. Having one of those is always a good sign. And then the last person that you see is just wearing a very weathered seaman's coat and actively looking to get hired, but for some reason is just having the most awful luck right now.
Sounds all right for him. How do I
That's a me
play this
thing,
character?
not my character thing.
Just gonna. I'm gonna go to the Dragonborn, and just like, I see you're equipped for the sea. You coming back from travels?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you just recently travel from?
Cape of Oceania. Big swig on a bottle that you didn't see.
And what were you doing down in Oceania?
Fighting pirates.
I want to make an insight check. I just want to like read.
Oh, you don't even need a roll. She is telling the truth. She's drunk out of her mind also. You can't tell with Dragonborns usually, but oh boy.
It's not that. It's just more like I want to get a read on her like character of
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
I'm just like, can I trust her? Will she stab me in the back? Is she worthwhile? That's amazing.
If you rolled that, that's gonna be hilarious.
8.
All right. In terms of trustworthiness, you're not certain.
Fair enough.
She seems to be incredibly hateful of pirates and seems to have recently suffered a major tragedy and is trying to drown her worries in this bottle.
I don't go that far.
Happy to homeboy.
I would.
You would.
Yes, you would.
Just like,
Also, you recognize that vintage. It comes from the Northern Isles.
are you?
It's just really frickin' strong stuff.
Well, I see that you are having a good time back from your travel, so I'll leave you to your drink. Good day. I'm just gonna leave first. So that's a no. I'm gonna go over to like the bar, and I'm gonna go like, what was Eliza's papa's name? Is he working there?
I haven't come up with a name for this person for some reason. What's his name?
Great, now to come up
This
with
is
a
your
name.
NPC. You can come up with our family
You just
members.
made up his dad. Her dad works there.
Yes, I did.
And now you're making me come up with his name?
Hey,
Yes.
it's your girlfriend, dude. Come on.
Okay, that's Mr.
Adopted
Rosemary.
father. We'll go with that. It could be
Mr. Rosemary. That's what it is, because I found her last name. Mr. Rosemary, I'm trying to find some crew mates. Anyone you'd recommend here?
Honestly, today's ain't looking like it's the best recruiting day, so almost anyone here is available for recruitment. You're the first captain that's come in here since midday.
I know not a lot are up to the best quality today, but you knew what Captain was looking for, what kind of crew he had. Anyone that fits that description?
I mostly just made a place for the people to gather. I wouldn't know how to recognize. If I were to look around,
I'm gonna come in.
that young man right there, he looks like he's had experience. You don't get one of those amulets without working hard at it.
It's fair.
That man over there, he's got a peg leg. I've heard that's pretty that's in style among y'all sailors right now.
The style is quickly fading out to fashion.
Well, this unfortunate fellow's been here all day long. I would have thought most people leave after a couple hours and not getting hired, but he's stuck around.
Pitching for a job, I guess.
Meanwhile, Coryllis, you have indeed been trying to get a job all day, and you've stuck around here far longer than anyone would have expected, especially since I was expecting the library to last so long. But as you're in here, you're just watching, and
I'm gonna come sit at the bar now, just defeated.
you look over and you just see the most interesting looking dude that's walked in all day. You've seen all races a dime a dozen. You've never seen anyone with a mechanical eye and arm. Maybe mechanical arm. You met one dude with a mechanical arm, but never a mechanical eye.
Yeah, kind of like standing talking.
I'm gonna come I take my hair and I kind of swish it back. And I walk up to the bar. Excuse me, Mr. Keeper. May I have a strawberry fuzzy with pirate cucumber?
Excuse me, what?
A strawberry fuzzy with a pirate cucumber. It's like
He's
a
going to try to translate jargon. It's like reaches under the table, gets something, just like pulls out it. He gets mostly what you want. Gives it to you, slides it over to you. Looks over at Flynn and is like,
Yeah, just like that.
I just got here.
but it's actually just like a little mini pickle. Mm-hmm. I just take it out. Hard day, huh?
I think you've had a harder day.
And I just flick the toothpick off somewhere. I'm in a bit of a pickle, you could say. Would you perhaps know anyone with a ship?
Depends on what you're looking for.
I'm a bit of a wanderer, you could say. But I just want to, be of service on someone else's ship now.
You never know what goes on a ship. You're going for a simple spice trade, or you could be going on for some dangerous stuff.
Oh, that's okay.
You don't seem like the type to handle high-stress situations.
I actually used to be a sailor,
Really?
believe it or not.
What was the name of your ship?
I never gave one to it, actually, now that you mention it. It was just a ship.
Just gonna look at Rosemary and just kind of give him an eye of suspicion.
I'm gonna look at him as well. Be like, Mr. B actually directed me here and said that I'd find some sort of captain to help me with this, or that I can possibly be of service for.
Sorry, I don't know any Mr. B.
Oh, you said, is there Eliza that works here?
Ah, one of Eliza's friends.
Ah, yes, that's the one.
Yeah, I think she's actually I don't know where she's at right now. She should be here. She usually performs for the customers every night, but she'll probably be coming in soon.
Fantastic. Well, would you perhaps have any positions open at the moment, or sailing anytime soon?
I never said I was a captain.
I didn't say you were, you sounded like you knew a boat.
I know a thing or two about ships and sailing, yes.
Yes.
I might know a captain that's hiring, but...
Really?
Yes. Well,
What's his name?
Zephyr.
Zephyr.
Yes. And what exactly are your qualifications?
I've been sailing for about at least 30 years. Been on a boat, around boats. So I know everything about them, actually. Don't know how to build one, but I can definitely sail it anywhere.
Duger, you walk into the bar at this point in time. Loaded down with new books in his bag.
He's just gonna walk over to you, ignoring this new person.
Yes, completely.
Out of his bag of holding, just boom, right? Books on the table or the bar, wherever you're at.
Did you buy those?
Yes.
Insight check. You filthy liar.
Deception check with disadvantage. Actually, no. Normally you roll with advantage because you know what Duger's like.
I know, he's like, I never take people for their word. Gosh.
You roll two again.
Gosh.
Deception?
Please be worse.
What'd you get,
Probably
Eli?
worse.
13.
4. Significantly worse.
Yes. Even you know that he's not telling the truth.
We'll talk about, well, you could have just asked Mr. B. He owns the library. Well, patron of the library.
You know Mr. B also? Mm-hmm. Would you perhaps know anyone with a ship that I could sail on with, by chance? I'm in a bit of a pickle, you could say.
Is Flynn doing that?
Yeah. Back turn to him, just...
Duger, what's your perception score?
13?
Perception.
13?
Roll stealth for me real fast.
I am average on that. Ooh, that's good. 19.
All right, he's too stealthy. You don't notice.
What?
Yeah.
So terrible.
You definitely don't notice, but neither does Duger.
You just kind of seem
terrible.
like all chirpy and like excited to hear your response.
Yes, actually, I would know a ship.
Really? Where?
Duger remembers the conversation that they had in the library of like, oh, we probably shouldn't just be hiring any random schmug. Off the street. And he's like, I've forgotten.
Oh, I know what ship it is. Like, you're Flynn, you're hiring right now, right? Eliza somehow appeared behind you.
Everyone works against me.
Finn is on her shoulder, and he grins at you.
I'm gonna look at Finn. I'm gonna go. We have to talk.
The universe actively works against me.
No, Finn actively works against you, and he just happens to interact with the universe more than you do sometimes.
Finn actively works against all of us.
Yes, I am looking for crew.
You covered up most of her words by that coughing, but yeah.
Is that Eliza?
That
Oh
is
yes,
right.
I am. And was your name Corliss?
I am.
Corliss?
Mr. B sent me, and I kind of.
Yes, he told me that you were becoming she gives you matches your bow with a very extravagant flourishing one. She's very clearly used to being a performer and being the center of everyone's attention.
I'm not giving her any attention, buddy.
No, I just.
I know.
You know what I'm doing, Mr. Cameron. You know what I'm doing. Well, what qualifications do I need?
How do you handle under high stress situations?
Very good.
Combat?
I'm pretty good.
Is he carrying anything that is flammable that wouldn't hurt him if it caught on fire?
Are you?
I got like a big leather seaman's coat and then like my pants. And then
His pants wouldn't hurt him too
Some
bad
leather
unless they
boots
completely
on.
went up in flames. I mean,
Some
you got your
black
pants
leather
lit on
boots.
fire earlier today. That's easily survivable.
I'm going to set his pants on fire. Poof! Your pants spontaneously combust.
how unusual. They just got.
So calm about it, I guess.
I just
Is he
started
calm? Like, not like...
Yeah,
He doesn't need
I'm
to
just
roll
like-
for. I'm not going to make him roll for this. This is not out
Quite
of the
unusual.
ordinary.
It seems
for-
another prank again, and I just tap it out.
This is not the sort of prank that you guys are accustomed to seeing. Like, only Duger's, Duger, you're realizing little by little that Duergar are abnormal for doing pranks like that. But, yeah.
As I was saying, sorry for the intrusion. Take a little sip of my
I
little
wanted to see
martini.
how he was under pressure.
What qualifications would I need to explain?
Well, how you handle a ship, how you handle under pressure, how you handle potential people dying with you unable to do much of anything, and constantly being hunted by some of the worst pirates known to mankind.
I think I could do that. Wouldn't be my first time, actually, but I think I could do that.
Obviously not very rational.
No, not at all. No one should sign up for this.
Duger, you realize who you are, right?
Yes.
Very much so, yes.
That's the irony of it.
Irony.
I'm just gonna grab out Mr. Rosemary. Any damages I will pay for. Just slip 2 golds on the table.
Pockets it and turns away.
Oh, let's see how you handle under pressure. And just gonna take my rapier and go at you for an attack.
Okay.
Rolled a hit.
Can I dodge? Probably.
You know what? Yeah, you can take the dodge action.
Yeah, baby.
So disadvantage on the
That's
attack
not my
roll.
best one. It's gonna miss him anyway. 11.
Miss. You just see me. Takes a sip of my drink. Anything else?
Yeah. This. And as I go for that swipe, and he kind of ducks under it, gonna go ahead and throw a firebolt at him. Just.
All right, roll
he
the hit
comes back
again.
up.
So I'm
Would it
assuming
be
on your turn of it, it's also dodge action.
I believe it would be.
Sure.
All right.
Disadvantage.
I'm at close range anyway, so it would have disadvantage. That would still a miss. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a d20 and find out what gets hit. You shoot someone's drink out of their hands.
Perfect.
You shoot someone's drink out of the hands. It's
He's gonna start a bar fight.
multiple things are gonna happen here. So you just shoot.
Hence why
you shoot. Corilla's just goes dodges and takes his 2 fingers, pushes it slightly out of the way and just shoots off and just misses it by a couple of inches. Flies over, hits the dragonborn woman's bottle.
Perfect.
Which, having the highest alcohol content known to this part of the world, immediately combusts, starting a fire on the ground. She's a red dragonborn, so she's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But she looks around and is looks at the fire, is like, no, not again, not again! And like jumps over and lands on someone else's table. Immediately all the people there get their stuff spilled and like bar fight has officially begun.
No.
Perfect. We're gonna use this chaos to try to test his, to see if he's.
I think it's time to roll initiative officially.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
First combat of the session, and we're only 2 hours in. Woo! Man, that was actually a great initiative roll.
Terrible.
22.
6.
10.
All right, you're first, I guess.
Woo!
There's no. We're gonna just really go all out on this. I'm setting up the combat scene.
Well, we're gonna take a break here,
Yep.
and then part 2, you'll get the combat here. So, we'll see you in part 2 of Flynn testing this man's metal.
My medal.
Yep.